Pay attention to this. 11:47 p.m., August 14th, 2023. What you're about to see, it changed everything. The footage runs for 17 seconds. Nothing happens. Just the soft glow of night vision, that sickly green hue that makes everything look like it's underwater. Then, at 11:48, 2 p.m., the door moves. Not a bang, not a crash, just movement. Slow, deliberate. The kind of movement that says someone knows exactly what they're doing. Here's what you need to understand about this footage. The camera angle cuts off everything above the shoulders. Whoever installed it mounted it too high, too far to the corner. So what comes through that door? You never see the face, just a body, tall, heavy, moving with the kind of confidence that only comes from familiarity or absolute certainty they won't be stopped. The jacket is long, dark, could be charcoal, could be black. In night vision, it's impossible to tell. The figure crosses the frame in 14 seconds. Steady steps. No hesitation. No pause to listen. No checking over their shoulder. Then the feed cuts. 3 seconds of static. When it comes back, there's just an empty space where a sleeping child used to be. The door closes. 23 seconds total, and a 1-year-old girl named Emma Ashford ceased to exist. Madison Pierce called 911 at 11:52 p.m., 15 years old, voice shaking so hard the dispatcher had to ask her to repeat herself twice. I went upstairs to check on her, and she's gone. The window's closed. I didn't hear anything. That last part, the I didn't hear anything, that's what Detective Sarah Kwan couldn't stop thinking about later. Because Madison was downstairs, TV on low volume. She checked the monitor every few minutes like clockwork. This wasn't some negligent teenager scrolling TikTok while a kid screamed. This was a girl who took her job seriously, who'd been babysitting for the Ashford family for 6 months without incident. And she heard nothing. No footsteps on the stairs, no creaking floorboards, no cries from Emma. Nothing. The Ashfords were at a charity gala downtown, the kind of event where your absence gets noticed and talked about. Thomas and Victoria, wealthy from commercial real estate, the kind of people whose names appear on donor walls. They had 130 witnesses who could place them exactly where they said they were. When Madison ran upstairs at 11:50 p.m. and found that empty crib, the window was locked from the inside. No signs of forced entry, no fingerprints that didn't belong. Just that footage, those 23 seconds, and a child who'd vanished like smoke. But here's where it gets strange. 3 blocks away, in a vacant lot that had been empty for years, there was a carnival. Delgado's Moonlight Fair. They'd rolled in on August 1st, with their rusted rides, and their rigged games, and their workers, who kept to themselves, and never quite looked you in the eye when you handed them money for cotton candy. Detective Kwan pulled records going back 15 years, 7 different cities. Same carnival, sometimes under different names. Midnight Carnival, Delgado's Dreamland, always some variation on the theme. And in every single city, during the exact window when they set up and operated, crime spiked. Not a little, an average of 340%. Burglaries, car break-ins, thefts. And twice before, in 2 different states, children had gone missing during their residency. Both cases went cold. Both families received ransom demands that led nowhere. August 1st, the carnival arrives. August 3rd, first burglary in the neighborhood. August 7th, car break-ins. August 9th, another burglary. Homeowner present but unharmed. August 14th, Emma disappears. August 18th, 4 days later, the carnival packs up overnight and vanishes to the next town. They questioned all 37 carnival workers. Most had alibis. They were running the late shift, operating rides, managing the crowds. 3 didn't. Frank Corso, 58, ride operator with priors for theft and assault. Miguel Santos, 34, general maintenance, no record, described by co-workers as quiet, kept to himself. Elena Kozlov, 41, ticket booth manager, prior conviction for check fraud. None of them matched the figure in the footage perfectly. Corso came closest, 6'1", 220 pounds. But when they searched his belongings, his jacket was navy blue, not the dark color caught on camera. And without physical evidence, without a single fingerprint or strand of DNA linking any of them to the Ashford house, there was nothing to hold them on. Madison Pierce was 5'3" and weighed maybe 95 pounds. The figure in that footage was nearly a foot taller and twice her weight. Unless she had an accomplice, unless this was some elaborate conspiracy involving a teenage babysitter with no motive and no financial gain, it wasn't her. But someone knew the layout of that house. Someone knew where the camera was positioned. Someone knew to keep their head down, out of frame, walking through that blind spot like they'd rehearsed it. 11 days after Emma disappeared, both Thomas and Victoria received a text from an untraceable number. "Your daughter is safe. $500,000 in unmarked bills. Instructions to follow? Tell police and she disappears forever." They paid. Every penny. They followed the instructions exactly. A drop at a rest stop dumpster, 2 a.m., 40 miles outside the city. The FBI told them not to do it, that paying ransoms rarely brings children home. But when you're a parent, and someone dangles that thread of hope in front of you, you grab it with both hands even when you know it might strangle you. The money was collected. The bills were marked. Every serial number recorded. Emma was not returned. And not a single one of those marked bills has ever surfaced. Not at a bank, not at a casino, not at a pawn shop. Whoever took that money knew exactly how to make it disappear. Emma Ashford would be 5 years old now. They release age-progressed photos every year on August 14th. Victoria started a foundation, Emma's Light, dedicated to missing children advocacy. She gives speeches, raises money, does everything she can to make sure other families don't feel the same helplessness she felt that night. Thomas doesn't talk about it anymore. He goes to work, comes home, and somewhere in between he exists in the space where his daughter used to be. Madison Pierce moved away for college. She doesn't babysit anymore. The last interview she gave, she said she still has nightmares about checking that monitor and seeing an empty crib, about running up those stairs and finding nothing, about the weight of knowing she was supposed to keep Emma safe and failed. The carnival still travels. They change names, move circuits, but if you know what to look for, you can track them. And in 2024, when they set up in Nebraska under the name Twilight Dreams Fair, another child went missing. That one was found 3 days later, wandering near train tracks, unable or unwilling to say what happened during those 72 hours. By the time investigators went back to question the carnival workers, they'd already packed up and left town in the middle of the night. Detective Kwan retired in early 2025, but she keeps the case file at home. She's tracked Delgado's Moonlight Fair, or whatever they're calling themselves now, through 6 states. She knows their patterns, knows their routes, knows that every time they set up, something bad happens. But knowing and proving are 2 different things. And without evidence, without a witness, without that one break in the case that makes everything else fall into place, all she can do is watch and wait and hope they slip up. The Ashfords still live in the same house. Victoria refuses to leave. "What if Emma comes home and we're not here?" she says. And Thomas doesn't argue anymore because what can you say to that? What answer is there when someone's hope is the only thing keeping them alive? The truth is out there. Maybe it's in a carnival truck rolling down a highway at 2 a.m. Maybe it's in the memory of a child who's been taught to forget. Maybe it's locked inside someone's conscience, eating away at them a little more every day, until one day they can't take it anymore, and they confess to a bartender, or a priest, or a stranger on a bus. Or maybe the truth is simpler and darker than that. Maybe Emma Ashford is one of hundreds of children who slip through the cracks every year, taken by people who see kids as commodities and morality as an inconvenience. Maybe that footage, those 23 seconds of grainy night vision, is all that's left. Emma Ashford is still missing. The tip line is still active. And somewhere out there, Delgado's Moonlight Fair is setting up in another town, stringing lights between rusted rides and waiting for another family to leave their doors unlocked. If you see something, say something before another monitor goes dark. Subscribe for updates. Comment if you've encountered this carnival. And watch your doors at night.